Hello and welcome to my channel LearnTeachShare. This video is a part of my Jenkins video tutorial series, and in this video we will learn to create and run a Jenkins agent as a service in a Linux node. We will start by creating a Jenkins node using the Jenkins graphical user interface. We will then configure the node so that the launch method for the agent will be launching the agent by connecting it to the Jenkins controller. We will establish a connection between the Jenkins agent and the Jenkins controller by directly issuing the Java command on the shell of our Linux node. Later on, we will create a service in the Linux node for our Jenkins agent and run the Jenkins agent as a service. We will then discuss the advantage of using Jenkins agent as a service. So let's get started. You can see the Jenkins dashboard on the screen. I'll go to the Jenkins nodes page from this build executor status link. In the nodes page, we can see the available nodes. At the moment, there are two nodes, a built-in node and a node called test node. I'll click on the new node button here, provide a node name such as I will select permanent agent type. However, there is also an option to copy existing node. For example, if I try to find a node name test, it suggests me with the name of the node. So I can use this node as a template for my new node and make the necessary changes as desired. But I will stick with the permanent agent. I'll click on the create button. In the nodes configuration page, we can leave almost all the fields to their default state except for this remote root directory. We need to define the directory on our node where we want the jobs to run. I will give this var Jenkins. So we will need to create this location in our Linux node. I would also like to change the number of executors from 1 to 2 so that I can build two jobs in parallel in this node. We already have a name. I would also like to give a description to this. I will then also provide a few labels to it. Always make sure that the labels do not have spaces in between them. For example, if there was no underscore in between example and node, these two will be treated as separate labels. In the uses field, I will select the default value as use this node as much as possible. And I don't want this node to perform the job builds only for those jobs which have defined the labels that is related to this node. In the launch method, I want to launch the Jenkins agent by connecting it to the Jenkins controller. There are other options like launch agent via execution of command on the controller and launch agent via SSH. I will select the default. Then In the availability section, I want to keep this agent online as much as possible. However, there are a couple of other options such as bring this agent online according to a schedule and bring this agent online when in demand and take offline when idle. These settings depend on the use case. I will save the configuration now. We can see our newly created node here. At the moment, this node is not connected to the Jenkins controller. I'll click on the node name. Here we can find the commands to connect the agent to the Jenkins controller. There are separate commands for separate operating system, Unix and Windows. Unix also corresponds to Linux operating systems. Since we have a Linux node, for us these commands are best, so that we can first of all issue this command to download the agent file and then run this command to start the connection between the agent and the Jenkins controller. I have already created a Linux virtual machine for this node. So I will open a shell in my virtual machine and run these commands from there. So first of all, I will need to create the path that I defined in the configuration. So I get a permission denied message here, which means that I need to have a root privilege to create a directory inside the var directory. So I will use sudo. I will enter the password. Now a directory has been created. Next, I will need to change my directory to that location. So now I will need to download the agent.jar file. I will copy the command for that from the Jenkins node page. Since we are inside the root var directory, we will need to provide sudo to use curl and download the file. So I will also use sudo here. And the file has been downloaded. We can check that by using the list command. We can see that the file has been downloaded. Next, we can issue the Java command so that the agent gets connected to the Jenkins controller. I'll go back to the Jenkins node page once again and copy the command for that. I will paste the command here. It gives some exception error. It says that the specified working directory should be fully accessible to the remoting executable, which means that we should have the owner of this folder or any contents of this folder accessible to the remoting executable. In our case, if we see here, the owner of this file is root. So root group and root user. We need to change the owner. I will change the owner of this directory to administrator. So the owner will be administrator group and administrator user. There is a typo here. If I list this var Jenkins directory, then the owners should be administrator, administrator group, and administrator user. Now let's try to run the Java command once again. Yes, now it's connected. We will also need to check the status from the node page. So I will go to the Jenkins node page, refresh this page, and we can see that the agent is connected. We can also see the labels here that we defined. So what will happen if for some reason our node is restarted, or for some reason our Java process stops? It's obvious that the connection will be disrupted. Let's see that in action. I will use the Ctrl C keyboard shortcut to interrupt this Java process and go back to the Jenkins node page once again. I will restart this page. You can see that the connection was broken. So it will be broken forever unless we run the Java command once again in the Linux shell. To solve that problem, we can run the agent as a service so that whenever there is such situations, the agent will restart, or the Java process that is running the agent will restart. We can define that in the service definition. So let's do that. I will create a service file for our Jenkins agent. So the name of our service file will be Jenkins_agent.service. Here I will define the service. I already have a template for this Jenkins agent service, so I will copy that template here. So this one from here. I need to change something here, or I need to add something here. The most important thing is I need to add the Java command that runs the agent.jar file from here. I will copy that command from the Jenkins node. I will also need to change the location of this agent.jar file since it is in the var Jenkins directory. There is this code or encoding for the underscore symbol, that is %5f. However, some systems will not be able to decode it. For that reason, it is a good idea to provide the actual symbol here if we are able to type it there. Since we are able to type the underscore symbol, I will put the underscore symbol here. You can try with that %5f. And if you fail to connect or start the service, then you can change that to underscore like this. Here, this service will restart always, and the restart will take after 15 seconds. So if for some reason the service is down or node is restarted, then the service will restart automatically after 15 seconds. I will save this. Next, I will need to reload the service daemon. I will enable the newly created Jenkins agent service and start this service. Since we did not get any kind of message after this start command, the service should have started. But let's make sure that it has started by looking into the status. Here is this active key, and it shows that it's active and running. So our service has started. We can go to the Linux node page and confirm that it has been connected. I'll restart or refresh this page. Yes, it's now connected. Next, I will simulate the situation where the service is stopped by killing the Jenkins agent service and see that it automatically gets restarted after 15 seconds. I will use the kill command to kill this Java process. Its PID is this one here, so I will kill this process. After killing it, I will immediately try to see the status of the agent service, and it should not be active after that. So let's try that. So we can see that it's activating or auto restart in the active key field. It will take like 15 seconds to restart. So I will once again see the status of this Jenkins agent service. I think it might have been 15 seconds already. Let's see. Yes, we can see that it's active once again and the info connected. So this was all for the tutorial on creating a Jenkins agent as a service in a Linux node. If you like this video, give a thumbs up, or if you have some comments, please comment it in the comment section. If you would like to view similar videos on Jenkins, DevOps, and other stuffs related to programming, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. See you in my next video.